Hello guys, welcome. Happy Saturday. Hi everybody. Hello, happy Saturday. Hi, I am Mary, and I thought I would take some time this morning just to share with you guys the books we read this week in our homeschool. So thanks for popping in. Today is a little different because I am coming to you with a live studio audience. Yes, Deshelle, if you use the hashtag Valentine's Day, it breaks the little hearts, which is kind of cute actually. Just something different. But that's what the hashtag Valentine's Day will do. Hey Kay! I have people coming now to see the broken hearts. So
oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, there they are. My kids are now. They heard
really
me
funny.
saying the broken heart. So it's kind of funny that they're flying up. Hello, Arlene. All right, so today I'm going to flip the camera around and let you see that we have a audience. Oh, they're running. That's my cousin Sherry. She's here from Florida. So I'm now performing in front of a live audience, which feels a little weird. I'm like talking to my camera with people in the room. But let's get to the books. First, my name is Mary, and I am a homeschooling mom of 4 kids. They are 13, 11, 9, and 6. And I have a blog at notbefore7.com, and you can find that blog on Facebook, facebook.com/notbefore7. It's not before and then the number 7. So normally I have that on the card, but I think most everyone knows that by now. All right, so let me share with you some books that we enjoyed this week in our school. I don't know, I think I mentioned this one last Saturday, but just in case, this is called How They Croaked, and it is hysterical. My kids are all really enjoying this one. I did mention this last Saturday. I remember reading it. It's the awful ends of the awfully famous. It is wonderfully disgusting. Yes. Oh, good. People have bought this one. Okay. So I already went over this one. This week we got to read. I will warn you, I think I didn't remember to say it last week, but in the one on Julius Caesar, it did mention that he had a child with Cleopatra, but they weren't married. So you can skip that depending on the age of your kids. My girls are old enough to know how that occurred. But just so you know that that was in there. But other than that, this one has been hysterical, and we are really enjoying. We did Christopher Columbus this week and learned all about gout and how he died. And we get to do Henry VIII coming up, and these drawings are fun. So, oh, good. Okay, Tara, good. I'm glad you're putting it on hold. That one is a lot of fun. Some of the fun ones for the snow we've enjoyed, because we're kind of sticking with the winter theme in our picture books. This book, Blizzard by John Rocco, is actually based on a true story in his childhood of the blizzard of, I think, 90, I forget what year it was, 92? I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry, no, it wasn't the 90s. It was the blizzard of 78. I don't know where I'm getting the 90s. And so it's just the story of him having to walk a mile in the blizzard to the snow for his whole family to get some food from the store. And he gets it from all the neighbors because he's the only one small enough to walk on top of the snow. Everyone else is sinking. So it was cute, you know, winter theme appropriate. So that one was fun. What else? Classic. I'm sure everyone knows Al Moon, but we went ahead and read that one. Beautiful pictures, just a nice story. And then we got on YouTube and we listened to the call of the great horned owl, and that was a nice one too. So I think everybody probably knows this one. It's kind of a classic, but just in case. Then winter theme. This one. Okay. This comes from a series of chapter books that we like that I'm going to show you in a moment. This is a book called Toys Meet Snow, and it's the story of Lumpy here and Stingray and Plastic. And these are actually characters from a nice early chapter book series, which I'm going to show you, that my kids and I laughed hysterically through. This is a picture book based on those same characters. It was a very simple story. Nothing actually too flashy, except it was fun for us to visit the characters we loved so much. So I'm going to show you the chapter books that these characters come from. But this was really, it was a pretty illustrations, and it was just fun to visit them. But these characters come from a series called, it's actually the first one in the series I don't have here. It's called Toys Go Out. So the first one you would want to read is called Toys Go Out. If somebody wants to write that in the comments, that would be awesome. And then it's Toy Dance Party and Toys Come Home. They are hysterical. They are told from the point of view, thank you, Lindsay, from the toys. So like Stingray is dry clean only, and Plastic doesn't know what plastic is, the little ball, and we have to figure that out. And there's a Tao that lives in the bathroom, and sometimes they try to go visit the Tao, and he's like considered the wise one, and they talk to him. These are great, and what I really love about these is if you have kids that are kind of crossing, you know, they're learning to read on their own, and they want to tackle chapter books, but they're just a little hard. These are great. And what I did is I read the first one, Toys Go Out, and then we kind of knew the characters and how it was written. And then my early readers were very comfortable reading the rest, because you can see there's like a lot of white space on the page, so they're not intimidating in terms of books. They're not illustrated, so you do have to be ready for a chapter book. But when my daughter was around the age, they do have a few illustrations, of like Magic Tree House and that kind of stuff. This was something nice that was a little different. So they are hysterically funny. You will love the characters in here. We always have. And that picture book was just one that used those same characters. So it was fun for our family because we had listened to these in the car and that kind of thing. So I really suggest these are just a fun, good read. Lots of fun. All right, let's see next. Da-da-da. Okay, we did the winter ones. Oh, poetry. We hit 2 good. Wow, that's a really great question. I'm not going to address that today, Wonderfully Made. I actually was a teacher in the school system. I don't have major issues with it, though like most people, there are things that could be improved. But today I'm just sharing some book titles we've enjoyed in our homeschool. So that might be a topic for another scope sometime. Or you can always reach me through my blog or Facebook page, notbefore7.com, and you can shoot me an email and I'd be happy to answer that question. But that's like a long question for this scope. All right. Winter Eyes. This was just a random one I grabbed from the library. It was delightful. Yeah, it's just, that's a hard question. Thank you. Poems and paintings by, it looks like Douglas Florian. This was a lot more delightful than I anticipated because it was a random find on the library shelf. And here's what I like about it. It's a lot of winter poems inside. So you have like some traditional ones to read, like this one here, Winter Hues. But there were also some really fun shape poems, like this one about sledding. The poem actually goes up the hill as you're trudging up the hill, and then it slides down quickly to the end of the poem. And what's nice was to be able to talk about how these words made it look like steps because we're walking up, and these words are written differently to capture the feeling of sliding down. So this one just had a lot of unique things in it to discuss that I wasn't anticipating. Here's another fun shape poem about 2 snowflakes. It says, 2 falling flakes by chance did meet. So there's the 2 flakes meeting. And then it says, lived happily ever after till they hit the street. So that was just another really, I wasn't expecting it, so it was kind of fun at Poetry Tea Time this week to have some shape poems in here. And there was one more here at the end about ice skating figure 8s. I'm looking for it. All right, well, I'm not seeing it, but I will, oh, here it is, figure 8. So that was fun. So it just had a little variety in it of winter poems that made it just a little different to discuss with the kids at tea time. So if you're looking for a nice winter one, we actually nailed it with 2 that I've put on my Amazon wish list to actually buy. The other one that we read at Poetry Tea Time this week And we started it last week. So it was actually on my blog last week, though I hadn't discussed it in the scope. This one is fantastic. And I think this same author wrote one called Dark Emperor, which a lot of people really love. This one's called Winter Bees and Other Poems of the Cold. And what's great about these poems is not only are the poems great, they're about the different animals and how they survive during the winter. And they're about snowflakes and trees. My kids love that I hate snakes, and everything we get from the library has snakes. So I'll put the snake poem up here. So here's the snake's lullaby. So it tells you what happens to the snakes in the winter. And after you read and enjoy the poem, there's an actual nonfiction little selection here to give you the facts about what happens to that creature in the winter, hibernating. So it was a nice mix of like poetry and informational text that the kids enjoyed. And the poems were different enough to keep their attention. Like this one is like a paired poem. It's called Brother Raven, Sister Wolf. And all of the regular written font is about Brother Raven. Yeah. And all of the italics are about Brother Wolf. So it was a nice way to see how it went back and forth between the two animals. And then in the end, of course, information about both of them and then how they are connected. So how they work together in the forest. So that was interesting. So this is another great poetry book I recommend. I have also put this on my Amazon wish list. I don't want to have to go to the library to get it. I would like to have this one in the house. Both of the ones I owned this time will go on a Christmas wish list. Well worth it. All right, we did this one too. So our continent study this month is Antarctica. This was an easy series. I tend to get some easy ones so that my 6-year-old can hang with us. And this just had some good information on Antarctica. It's like the spotlight on a continent series. It has each of the continents, spotlight on, spotlight on. So I'll use this again. And it just gives you a little overview. Just something we can read in our morning basket that keeps us learning about the continent. And this was another one, the Antarctic habitat. This one really focused on habitat. So the books aren't based on the continents. You have backyard habitat, land habitat, underground habitats, water habitats, savanna, wetlands, but it just talked about what is a habitat very briefly, and then the animals that live in the habitat of the Antarctic. So that worked well for our study right now too. Okay, I mentioned this one last week, and oh my word, I can't say enough good things about this book. This is the first real nonfiction chapter book we have read as a family that wasn't like our curriculum, like Story of the World or something like that. This book is unreal. It is so good. It's the true story of the Triple Nickels, and they were America's first all-black paratrooper team during World War II. And it captures you with a second-person point of view. It is wonderful. It's got pictures of the time period, and it's been a great platform to discuss with my kids a time period of desegregation and the difficulties there. And it's been really eye-opening for me of just some of the abuse of African Americans in the military, the verbal abuse, the what they had to overcome, and how they were treated. This has been great. And I will say that what we did is, as a family one night, we watched the Disney movie, Remember the Titans. And I think it really helped bring to light. This is my arrow book, Melissa. And there's an arrow guide for this one. It's been a great arrow guide too. Actually, I have a writing activity we did from it that I'm going to share this week that was fantastic. My kids really got into. So this has been a particularly great arrow guide as well. So we are fortunate enough that they have a museum display on the Triple Nickels here in North Carolina at Fort Bragg. So we are going to go visit the museum display for book club this month. But this is a great one. I really recommend it. And we watched Remember the Titans, and I think that gave my kids like a visual of desegregation and the violence and the opinions and what it looked like. Ages. My children are all listening, and they are 13-year-old girl, 11-year-old girl, 9-year-old boy, and 6-year-old boy. It is my boys who don't want me to stop. My 9-year-old boy especially is really enjoying, of course, the whole military thing and reading about war and training and all of that. But everyone as a family is enjoying the topic of blacks in the military and what that was like. It's a very realistic portrayal. And Pop in the movie Remember the Titans, which was age appropriate for all of my kids. There are a few things there that you might want to be aware of as a parent. You can look up online details, but I thought it was a really age appropriate movie, and it brought to light a lot of what we're talking about because of this book. And then we're also listening to a lot of Motown, because there's a lot of Motown in the movie, which is not based on this book. It's just the same time period. So it's been kind of fun to just enter that time period with all of our senses in the house, all because of this title. So I can't say enough good stuff about this one. Okay, what else do I have here? This was just a fun one. It is a good book, Jackie. Oh my gosh, I know, I want to buy the soundtrack, but I just went on Pandora and typed in Motown hits, and we've been listening to it. This one's called Take Away the A. It's been kind of fun for my new reader, and what this did is it takes a bunch of words. It's not based necessarily on like phonics rules, but it just says like, if you take, without the C, the chair has hair. So it's been kind of fun for my new reader. The illustrations are cute, and even though we all read it together, it's one that I could sit with him and talk about the changing, you know, without the F, the scarf hides a scar. So just basic reading, fun illustrations, and going through the letters. It was just a library random grab, and it was fun. It was a good one. Okay. Ooh, this one was kind of fun too. I'd love to read more. This is called Tiny Creatures, the World of Microbes. And it's all about microbes. So it talked about the shapes that they can be, and how many microbes are in your stomach, and how many are on the head of a pin, and all that kind of stuff. So this was like a nonfiction picture book. Yeah, it was neat. I didn't even expect it to be as good as it was. Hi, I have all sorts of studio audience right now. I'm going to show you just like a page that gave some information. So it showed you like the sizes, like if this was the size of the polio virus, they are broken hearts. Hashtag Valentine's, you get some broken hearts. I guess since we have hearts all the time, they had to do something different with the hearts for Valentine's Day. So if this is the size of the polio virus, this is the size of, I think it's just a paramecium. It shows you that there's so many different sizes of microbes that a paramecium is 2,000 times bigger than the tiny microbe of the polio virus. So it's not like this goes in depth. Hello, Michelle. I just got your message on my phone. This doesn't go in a whole lot of depth. It's just like an intro to the world of microbes. So it shows you all the different shapes that they can be. Oh, that's a good question, Melissa. I don't read all of these during morning time. I'll be honest, morning basket time has not worked as morning basket time for us. It's become afternoon time and random during the daytime. So I put everything I want to read that day in the morning basket, and after lunch and during lunch sometimes I get to a few of them, and then sometimes it's at dinner. I found that some of them we read at dinner time. So I just kind of know what I want to read, but my kids, they don't have the stamina to sit there for all of that reading with the chapter books and everything else. So as much as the morning basket or afternoon basket routine appealed to me, I've had to just kind of modify it. So we always read our Arrow book, Courage Has No Color. We always read a selection right now out of How They Croaked. And yeah, the afternoon just seems to work a little better for us. Get the seat work done, and then after lunch, everyone's having a little downtime. And yeah, I think it works well for me too, except that the afternoons when I want a nap. And then I start reading and I'm like drifting off. Yeah, you know, and what we do during morning, oh, I should share this. This has been a huge hit with my kids, I still have a few more titles, but we'll get back to them, is we've bought a bunch of those like adult coloring books, and during morning, afternoon basket time, they are coloring. And they are loving this. I put all of the Sharpie markers out on the floor. Oh yeah, Melissa, I don't have toddlers anymore. Oh yeah, my youngest is only 6. If you go back, my old blog is actually private, but occasionally on Fridays on my blog, I'll post one of my old posts from my blog when I had a, 7-year-old, 5-year-old, 3-year-old, and 1-year-old and was trying to homeschool. Whole different ball game. We got all of our reading done during nap time. And that's because my other ones had outgrown rest time. So it's totally different. Yes, none of my kids pick up coloring books for free time during the day. But while I'm reading, they have been doing this. And so I've been photocopying pages out of this for my boys. I mean, I have one of these from when, this is my favorite. I had this one when I was in middle school. And I still have it because I only photocopied pages. So this just has like geometrics in there. Yeah, no toddlers here. No toddlers. The youngest is 6, and they use those plastic desks. They don't sell them at Michael's anymore, and they lean on the plastic desks. It's a whole different world with toddlers. When I had toddlers, we did Play-Doh during reading time, and we usually could get through a book or two. But Play-Doh worked really well, and right now, kinetic sand is working fantastically. My daughter got an 11-pound box of kinetic sand for her big Christmas present from Amazon. I can link to that on my blog at some point. And they sit and they will play in the kinetic sand or build with blocks. So yeah, Play-Doh is fantastic with the little ones because that tends to keep them. And what I would just lay out some of the toys and all with it, and we would just go into the hardwood floor and it would work. I know, kinetic sand, it's like very zen. Yeah, I got it. It took me a minute to figure it out. I hate that autocorrect, but it's very zen to sit in the kinetic sand and just let it sift through your hands. So, okay, Michelle has 4 kids also, and her youngest is 5. So coloring books, Play-Doh, the geometric patterns has been awesome. But yeah, if you have toddlers, you're just in a whole different world. It's a lovely world. And it changes, so try to enjoy it, but it's a complicated world. My toddlers, their favorite thing to do is play in the kitchen sink or at the dishwasher. So we would read in the kitchen around the table. We always read over breakfast or lunch. When I had a toddler, we always had food in front of us when we were reading. So I would read at breakfast or lunch, and then the toddler would go to water. So I would pull up a chair to the sink with some cups and they would play there, and I just had beach towels and just put them around and just resigned myself to the water mess. Or I actually would open the dishwasher. It would be empty, nothing in there, and I would let them play with cups of water and pitchers on the dishwasher. So when they were done, I could just shut the dishwasher and all the water was in the dishwasher. And that actually worked really well too. So you just do what you can do to survive. Okay, I will tell you, I only have a few more books. We're still reading this one. I have not been reading. Yeah, it does get easier, Melissa, every year. Every year gets so much easier. The upper end of the age starts to bring its own challenges, but they're not as physically exhausting as it was with toddlers. So I'm entering a whole different set, and I know I've been pretty open about that on Brave Scopes and places about what's going on with my oldest. But oh yeah, we have magnetic blocks, mag formers. So there's magnetiles and there's mag formers. They're really good for little ones too, to do with their hands while you're reading. I can't say anything about this book. I know nothing about it, but yeah, seriously, totally different once they're in their 20s. But my husband's reading this to my boys at night and they're enjoying it. It kind of twists fairy tales and it has changed them. I know it's based in Hansel and Gretel, but it's kind of changed the whole thing. The other one, I know everyone knows about these, and the Charlotte Mason in me wants to kick myself for the twaddle, but I will say that my kids cannot put these down. I have never brought them into my house because back in my Charlotte Mason days, twaddle was not going to be allowed in my house. But I've brought them home now, and some of my reluctant readers are just sitting around on the sofa, not moving, because they cannot get enough of this book. My 9-year-old son started one last night, and I mean, he was taking them in the car, in the van. Oh my gosh, reading is reading. I have gotten to that point. And they're just fun because they have cartoons in them, and you know, they're just silly fun. So I think for kids who reading, yeah, you know, I read twaddle. Deshelle, you know, I'm totally with you because I read it. It's like I set standards for them that I don't even have. So I understand there's a movie with these. I've never, delightful trash. Brain candy. Oh my gosh, you guys have the best words for this stuff. Brain candy. So I'll throw those out there just so everyone knows that if your kids are reading twaddly brain candy, your kids are reading brain candy, you're not the only one. And this is the last piece of brain candy that has been very popular in this house. Again, with my kids who are more reluctant of readers, but they're into Pokemon. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's only like $7 or $8 on Amazon, I think. I'm saying that. But the Pokemons are all sorted by type because there's water types and I don't even know, leaf types, and they're sorted by region. I don't even know. But these are perfect for your younger and reluctant readers because they're so excited to read about their Pokemons. So my kids are constantly referring to these handbooks that your daughter, yes, I love seeing what the kids do, you know, Star Wars character. Yeah. Oh, Minecraft. Oh, we got a Minecraft one I should mention here too. So I've been trying to just pull ones, Lila, like you're saying, in addition to the ones I'm reading my kids during the week for like educational purposes. I just thought I'd share some of the ones that are just a hit in this house for reading that the kids themselves are enjoying the most. So, oh yeah, those Minecraft books. Oh, I put on my blog today the Game Night 999 series. If you have not done the Game Night 999 series and you have a kid who is into Minecraft, my 11-year-old daughter who has to be told to go read does not have to be told to read those. So they're on my blog at Not Before 7 or at Amazon. Just search. Okay, Tara is saying too. Everything in this house right now is like Game Night 999. We write stories. Yes, she's yelling yes from the other room. We write stories about Game Night. We've made characters from Sculpey Clay about Game Night. Highly recommend Game Night as well. Again, I have not read them. I cannot speak to the content. Go grab one, Trisha.
I did, right there.
No, the book. Do you have one handy? Night spelled K-N-I-G-H-T and squish it all together, Melissa. So it's game and then K-N-I-G-H-T 999. Uncle John's Top Secret Bathroom Readers. Oh, I think you mentioned that when I talked to you on the phone one time. That would be really fun. That would be fun to add to like the morning basket, afternoon bin, whatever people are doing. I have been really enjoying books where you just read a little bit each day, which is like the How We Croaked, which I'm not even seeing here anymore, but we've already talked about, but like the Lives of the Scientists. So trivia thing, that would be a great idea. Michelle, can you type the title of the bathroom reader again? Here's the Game Night books. This is the first one, I think. And here's how you spell Game Night. Here's Game Night. Oh, that's a great idea. Every kid picks a fact. That's brilliant. I need to put that on my Amazon list. Thank you, Michelle. I'm going to have to watch the replay now so I can get that. So there's Game Night 999. And I think there's 6 books in the series. The sad thing about this one is our library didn't have them. So we did have to buy them. We got the whole box set. And I don't regret it because it's like Harry Potter for my older daughter. Like she's reading it over and yeah, she's yelling yes. Like she's reading it over and over and over and over. Uncle John's Top Secret Bathroom Reader for Kids Only. Thank you. that was all I had to share today, ladies. So I thank you for coming in and sharing so many good ideas. So Lila, I hope you will do a scope this week and tell us what your daughter's reading. The sun has changed. It's coming in on my face now. And tell us what your daughter's reading too, because it's fun to just sometimes get the book candy for the kids as well. So you are welcome. And I will see you all later. I hope you have a great weekend and a wonderful Sunday. Oh, that's a great idea. Have her join in. I should let my kids do that too. That would be fun. Goodbye, Deshelle and Lindsay. All right, let's see. I'm going to focus on the books again. Oh, and use hashtag Valentine's if you want hearts. All right, there's the book.